Coming up on the April 9th edition of Carolina Week.
An Iraqi native is planning a party now that American troops have taken control of Baghdad.
Students gathered around TVs Wednesday morning to watch history taking place. Find out what students think about the war now that U.S. troops are in Baghdad.
And what does a former CBS News anchor think about the media's performance in the war with Iraq? We'll let you know.
All that and more.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening, I'm Jenny McClendon.
And I'm Alex Lawson. Thanks for joining us.
According to the AP, Iraq's UN ambassador said Wednesday the game is over, meaning the war is over. It's the first admission by an Iraqi official that U.S. forces have defeated Iraqi forces. But the ambassador said he has had no contact with Iraq. Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld says parts of Iraq are still under Saddam's control and more fighting lies ahead.
The possible end of Saddam's regime is leading to a celebration in many parts of the country, especially among Iraqi Americans. Carolina Week's Michael Handy spoke to one local Iraqi American who's also an assistant professor at Carolina.
The pictures of Baghdad falling and the Iraqi people gaining liberation from Saddam is something Maha Alatar thought she'd never see.
I'm really happy. I'm really ecstatic today. I still don't believe it's happening, but I know that it happened, and I think it's going to take a while for me to sink. I've been waiting for this for 22 years.
Alatar called Iraq home for several years and witnessed firsthand the atrocities of Saddam's regime.
You have to be in our shoes to know why we feel the way we do, because we're 24 million people, and 1.5 million have been killed. Another million, who knows where they are, they've been kidnapped, tortured. And so if you're an Iraqi, you cannot wait, and you cannot wait to get rid of this monster.
The news spread rapidly among Alatar's family. Her father in Virginia is telling her he opened a bottle of wine at 7 this morning. It's going to be the first of many days of celebration.
When I talked to my aunt in Nashville, she was actually preparing for a huge party tonight.
Alatar is planning her own party soon, and tomorrow she's bringing a cake for her co-workers. What looks like the end of the regime is cause for celebration for lots of Iraqi Americans in exile. For Carolina Week, I'm Michael Handy.
Alatar has several aunts, uncles, and cousins still living in Iraq, but she hasn't heard from them since the war started. She's looking forward to the day when their phone service is restored.
While the fighting in Iraq appears to be drawing to a close, some Carolina students are turning their attention to what lies ahead. Students stopped by the televisions in Carroll Hall to catch up on the latest events of the war. They saw Iraqis already celebrating the defeat of Saddam Hussein, but the students know there is still work to be done.
I think that the progress has been great, but all reports that I've heard recently indicate that it's just not over yet. So I think everyone's kind of jumping the gun with just thinking that we're victorious already.
According to CNN.com, the U.S. has promised $530 million to Iraq for humanitarian relief aid, as well as more than $1 billion for reconstruction of the nation after the war.
To some, former CBS News anchor and war correspondent Walter Cronkite is still known as one of the most trusted men in America. Tuesday, Carolina Week was at Elon University to hear Cronkite talk about the media's performance and his view of the war in Iraq.
July 15th, 1950. That was Walter Cronkite's first day at CBS. When the Vietnam War broke out in the 1960s, he was there with the American troops. And even though he's not with the troops in Iraq, he knows what it's like. Since the war with Iraq began, he hasn't changed his mind about the need to take action.
I've not changed my mind one iota as to whether we should have been in Iraq without the United Nations approval.
He may not be in favor of war, but he is in favor of the troops.
I have the greatest admiration for our military.
As for the reporters embedded with the troops,
every time I hear it, I think they're saying they're in bed with.
He says they're doing a fine job. New technology has allowed viewers to see images of war, but not the real images of war.
We're still really not seeing the bloodletting, which I think is a essential part of understanding war and the horror of war and the reason why we shouldn't be in wars. We got to see bodies.
Cronkite turned 86 this past November. He was also the first Nelson Benton Lecturer in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at Carolina in 1992.
During Holocaust Remembrance Week, observers dedicate hours of non-stop reflection in the pit. For 24 hours, volunteers took turns reading the names of Holocaust victims while onlookers watched in silence. The reading of the names is an annual event, not only on this campus, but across the country. The purpose is to allow people to hear the victims' names.
Max Laser, Rosalind Laser.
Honor their deaths and realize that each of those people has become one in a sea of millions. Holocaust Remembrance Week continues with events through Friday. Go to our website, carolinaweek.org, for more information.
While some students read names to make their point, others remained silent. In the pit Wednesday, gay rights supporters protested the silencing of homosexuality, but they didn't say a word. Instead, they wore gags, held signs, and passed out flyers. According to one poster, the protest is a part of the National Day of Silence, a day to draw attention to gay rights. The protest was organized by the Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, Transgender, Straight Alliance.
Can you spare some change? This is a question many UNC Chapel Hill students are asked as they walk in the downtown area. Kimberly Corrigan reports about changes taking place on Franklin Street to curb panhandling.
For most students, the familiar sights of Franklin Street include panhandlers asking for change. However, the look of Franklin Street will soon be undergoing a change of its own. The Chapel Hill Town Council voted 7-2 Monday to ban the vocal and direct approach of panhandlers from dusk to dawn. The new restrictions are a response to the concerns of downtown patrons. UNC student Elizabeth Wicker believes banning panhandling at night is a safe idea.
As far as panhandling is concerned, I don't think it's a problem during the daytime. It's sometimes a nuisance, you feel like, but the only time I feel like my safety is anyway violated is at night, because I don't know, I can't see them as well, and you're just more, as a girl, you're just more cautious at night.
While the ordinance will help make some Chapel Hill residents more comfortable walking down Franklin Street at night, council members who voted against the ban think the definition of panhandling is unclear. Will simply asking for change be cause for arrest? Chapel Hill police officer Anthony Brooks believes that the ordinance will help stop the direct approach of panhandlers that make people uneasy.
According to the ordinance, we will be able to make the arrest, but I think what we'll probably end up doing initially will be issuing warnings just to get people into the flow of how we're going to handle this. But I fully anticipate some arrests being made in the near future.
Latimer Davis sits on Franklin Street waiting for spare change.
There should be a fine line between what is panhandling. To me, panhandling is walking up to someone and asking for money. You know, a lot of us that are homeless don't do that. We just sit here and we hold the box and we pray that somebody will come by and put something in it.
Whether the ordinance will provide a solution is still up for debate. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kimberly Corrigan, Carolina Week.
The Town Council has scheduled an open discussion at the end of the month for members of the community to respond to the ordinance. Well, usually you get your hair done at the hair salon.
But now you can get tips on how to save your life. That's coming up on Carolina Week.
Commonly found in the transverse segment of the colon with vascular congestion and smooth surface. Typically, the biopsy proved to be a tubulovillous adenoma.
It's a polyp! Why doesn't he just come right out and say it? It's a polyp.
Sir, do you mind?
Look at your textbook. Could I see that pointer?
We got one.
Stopping colon cancer is simple. Get the polyp early and stop colon cancer before it even starts.
Wait.
Just get the test.
I need the credits.
Get the polyp.
Attica!
Oh, shut up!
Get the cure.
Advice for women who want to find that special someone. Be active. Stay fit. Eat right. Don't smoke. Take good care of yourself. And you'll increase your chance of being around to meet the love of your life.
Grandma!
Learn more about reducing your risk of heart disease and stroke. Contact the American Heart Association.
According to the National Cancer Institute, African American women are at a higher risk of dying from cancer because of social and economic factors. The UNC School of Public Health and the Lineberger Cancer Center are trying to reduce these rates by integrating health awareness into beauty salons. Rodrigo Branco has the story.
This customer is getting more than just a stylish haircut. Donna's Salon in Sanford is a pilot site for the $1 million Carolina Beauty and Health Project. The aim? To provide women with cancer prevention and nutritional tips. Project manager Veronica Carlisle explains.
What we'd like to do is look at several strategies for sharing cancer information, and we want to find out what's the best way for sharing that information.
Carlisle and other project leaders are recruiting 48 salons like this one in Raleigh to participate in the study. To be eligible, beauty salons must have at least 75 African American customers. Researchers want to know if the educational campaign will lead to more cancer screening, increased physical activity, and better nutrition.
Health displays are going to be in all 48 of the salons. The information that's shared on the health display will change each quarter.
The health display features puzzles, pictures of vegetables and fruits, and recipes to interest customers in having more healthful habits. In addition, some salons will have cosmetologists trained in health education, other salons will send out tailored health magazines to customers, and still others will offer a combination of both. Salon owner Donna Hooker says she thinks it's important to do more than hairstyling.
I'm not only interested in taking care of the hair, but also taking care of the well-being of the soul, you know. And by me taking interest in them, they're going to come back and want me to be, you know, continue to do their hair and say, wow, she not only care about me, but she care about me and how long I want to live or whatever.
Hooker says it's important to share health information with her customers because some women can't afford to go to the doctor on a regular basis. Now at least, a visit to the salon may be good for their health as well as their hair. In Sanford, I'm Rodrigo Branco, Carolina Week.
Salon owners interested in joining the program can go to our website at www.carolinaweek.org.
Coker Arboretum will celebrate its 100th birthday this weekend. The Arboretum was founded in the early 1900s by UNC's first professor of botany, William Chambers Coker. An exhibit about Coker and his passion for botany is on display in Wilson Library as part of the centennial celebration. The exhibit includes his pictures, books, and handwritten notes. Other campus exhibits include information about the Arboretum and its founder, and they're located in Davis Library and Coker Hall. Well, Coker seems to be holding up well for its 100th birthday.
It certainly did. It survived the drought this past fall and also survived all the ice storms from this winter here. So to find out more about what's going to happen for the spring, let's go to weather anchor Jason Myers.
Yes, it's been very messy this week, and we've had a lot of rain. And there is a flood watch until 11 p.m. on Thursday. So if you're going to be driving, make sure you're careful. And also if you live around any areas around streams or rivers, you need to be careful. But I'll have a little bit more about this weekend. There is some good news for the weekend. But first, let's go to our weather question, which is, what is the path of destruction caused by a hailstorm called? Is it drop zone, area of impact, fallout, or hail streak? I'll have the answer and this weekend's forecast just after the break.
Mrs. Abruzzo, I'm Ed McMahon, and we're signing up people for... Yes, I am. Yeah. Miss Murphy, Ed McMahon. We're starting up... No.
Dreams really do come true.
No.
Yes,
Ed McMahon, see.
Ed McMahon.
Yes, Ed McMahon. We're having our first ever...
McMahon.
Yes. Tuesday night at the high school. We're starting up the neighborhood watch in this area, and here's all the information.
Stevie, get down here, please.
No, it's just
5, 6, 7, 8.
No tango de neighborhood watch. We're having this neighborhood watch, the first one. Right. I'll come back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Start a neighborhood watch. It's just one of the many ways you can help make America stronger. To find out how, call or log on for this free guide.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. It's been better to stay indoors this week with all the cold temperatures and rain that we've had. And if you've had to be outside, then you've probably had to keep your umbrella with you, and also watch out for the rain puddles that are around campus too, because those can get pretty slippery. But also the spring blooms have really been needing some sunshine. And this weekend we should see the sun come back out and temperatures go back to being normal. And with the weekend feeling more spring-like, it will be perfect to be outside and enjoy some of the spring flowers. If you're going to be going to the mountain area, in Asheville, there's the Botanical Gardens of Asheville. And then in our own backyard in Chapel Hill, there's the North Carolina Botanical Gardens. And in Durham, right down the street, the Sarah Duke Gardens. And if you're going to be going down to the coast in Manio, there's the Elizabethan Gardens there too. And if we take a look at what's been around our area, we see that to the west right now, that's clear, and that's what's going to be heading our direction because of the high pressure system. But the east coast, the whole east coast has had a lot of clouds. It's been very rainy and cold. And the reason why we've had that is there's a low pressure system that's going to be traveling north up the east coast, and that's going to continue to bring rain and that chance of rain into Friday. And then by Saturday, we'll see things change. But if we look at our surface map, we can see some of the weather that we've had. This high pressure system is what's going to be taking this low pressure system's place. But this low pressure system here, this is the second one that's going to be affecting our area more on Thursday and into Friday as that moves north. And this low pressure system here was what affected us earlier into the week. But the high pressure system, as that moves in, that will have clockwise rotation, so that will be bringing in warm, moist air into our area, and that will feel very nice for the weekend. If we look at the 4-day forecast, we can see just that. Now on Friday, keep your jacket out because it is going to be a little chilly. 58 is going to be the high, and then it's going to be cloudy. There'll be a chance of rain. And then on Saturday, temperatures go back to being normal into the 70s. It will be very nice and stay in the 70s until Monday, getting into the mid-70s and staying partly cloudy. So if you have plans to be outside this weekend, it will be perfect. If you're going to be going to the beach, it's going to be very nice there, staying in the 70s again. On Saturday, 73 degrees. And then on Sunday, very sunny and a very sunny 75. And if you're going to the mountains, it's going to be nice there too. Temperatures will get a little cooler on Sunday, but the sun will be out shining bright, 68 on Saturday and 65 on Sunday. And if you're suffering from allergies, trees are the biggest problem right now. They're high, and also we have molds are low and weeds, but grasses are not in bloom yet, so that hasn't become a problem just yet. That'll probably be more of a problem in the summertime. But does anyone have an answer to our weather question?
All of those sound pretty bad. I try not to think about hailstorms too much. What do you think, guys? D? Hail streak?
Yeah,
Hail streak.
sounds
Hail
interesting.
streak?
That's exactly right. This one was a pretty tough one, and you guys got it exactly right. Hail streak is what is called by the name of the path of destruction a hailstorm causes.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
All right, thanks a lot. Brittany joins us now with sports. A lot of people are wondering, when are we going to find a new basketball coach?
Exactly. Carolina's leading candidate is Roy Williams, but the University of Kansas just announced that they have fired athletics director Al Bowl. So what that means for Carolina's coaching search, the University of Kansas in North Carolina, remains to be seen. And coming up in sports, words used by sports broadcasters, players, and fans often mirror words used in war. We'll show you what we mean when Carolina Week Sports returns.
Plastic ones last longer.
Pork bellies close steady due to speculation that demand for bacon-related products.
Read me this one, Daddy.
Okay, honey. The less art kids get, the more it shows. Are yours getting enough? Art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
So, that was the last time I went out with a Marilyn. Ay, ay, ay. It's not worth the pain, but Julio's different. Music, flowers, no why. My luck, he got hit by a bus.
Excuse me, have you taken the HIV test?
An HIV test? Are you kidding me? You know what gets me hot, Carlos? Oh, baby, baby, I don't know what to say anymore.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. The baseball team is feeling good after a matchup with High Point University Tuesday. After putting up a quick 10 runs in 2 innings, Carolina wasn't done against High Point U. Jeremy Cleveland homers and 2 more Tar Heels crossed the plate. He would go 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs on the day. In the 4th, with 1 man on, Sammy Hewitt homers to right field. He was 4 for 6 with 4 RBIs. After giving up only 16 runs and 14 hits in 3 1/3 innings, High Point pitcher Toby Hoskins had enough. Not even a rain delay could stop the Heels' onslaught. Carolina wins 22-5. The women's tennis team match was almost as easy Sunday in the team's final regular season home match. Maryland came to Chapel Hill with only 5 players because of an injury to the Terps' 6th player. So Carolina won number 3 doubles and number 6 singles by default. The matches they did play went Carolina's way also, as the Heels take the match 6-1. Senior Marlene Mejia says she was happy to get the win, but for an unusual reason.
Our freshman year, we went to play Maryland, and they were down, 1 player, and we lost. So, as all the seniors remembered it, because we were freshmen then, and we really wanted to win it because it didn't feel so great when we lost to them like that up in Maryland.
The men's tennis team had a tougher time against Virginia Sunday. Carolina takes the doubles point for the first time in 8 matches this season to take the early lead. 5 of the 6 singles matches go to 3 sets. The match comes down to the number 2 singles between the Heels' Nick Monroe and the Cavs' Rylan Rizzo. Monroe wins it in a 3rd set tiebreaker to give Carolina a 4-3 victory. Monroe says it was great to finally win the doubles point, but he knew that wouldn't guarantee a victory.
We came out in singles. We knew that, doubles was only 1 point, so we had to come out firing. And we just came out with a lot of intensity, and it came down to a couple points, and I was lucky to win the last couple points to win the match for us.
At 6-6, the Carolina women's lacrosse team looked to get back to 500 on Sunday, but it wouldn't be easy as the Heels took on national powerhouse Georgetown. Close to 500 fans, both young and old, come to cheer on the Heels at Henry Stadium. Carolina falls behind 7-3 by halftime, and Georgetown extends its lead right after intermission. UNC responds with a run of its own, trimming the margin to 8-6. But the Hoyas regain their goal-scoring stroke, scoring on a decisive goal with less than 10 minutes remaining. The Heels miss point-blank opportunities down the stretch and fall to Georgetown 9-6. As the war in Iraq continues, words such as hero, battle, and courageous are common in news media. Often without even thinking about it, these same words are used by sports media as well. Carolina Week sports reporter Aaron Mesmer has more.
Words used to describe soldiers at war and words used to describe sports are often the same.
It was great seeing a battle go so long.
Athletes use words like these all the time, and color analyst for Tar Heel Sports Network, Mick Mixon, says it's also common for sports media to use these words.
All of us in the media, particularly in the sports media, when we describe conflict, can fall into that trap of using words like battle and hero.
Words associated with heroism are often used to describe someone who scores when the game is on the line and someone whose life is on the line every day.
And I think the thing that he imbues them with, most readily apparent to me anyway, is courage.
But how fair an assessment is it to call an athlete courageous?
I feel a lot more comfortable using phrases like that than I do anything that even relates to actual combat. War, battle.
As Woody and Mick do their weekly radio show, the war is on their minds but isn't likely to dictate everything they say. Sometimes it's hard to find new words because when it comes down to it, a shot is a shot.
To Felton, down the left side, pull-up jump shot, good for 3. How are you going to do a basketball game unless you say that he shoots? So I think there's a line of sensitivity.
And when he's announcing a game, Woody's careful not to cross that line.
People talk about the class and integrity of our athletes and our teams and things like that. Well, I want them to think the same thing about our broadcast.
And while America remains at war, Woody and Mick both say it's important to remember that what they're describing is just a game. In Chapel Hill, I'm Aaron Mesmer, Carolina Week Sports.
One of the rites of spring for Carolina football is the annual coaching clinic. The highlight of this year's event was Kansas City Chiefs coach Dick Vermeil, who spoke Friday at the Smith Center.
Pro football players are just big high school kids.
That's what they really are. They're just bigger, faster, and they make a lot more money. You know, I've worked with a number of coaches.
High school football coaches from North Carolina and surrounding states came to try to gain some gridiron wisdom from the Super Bowl champion. After speaking, Vermeil stuck around to meet coaches and sign autographs. Now back to Carolina's coaching search. Now, Roy Williams admitted that he and athletics director Al Bohl had problems. So what this means for the coaching search remains to be seen. There's no word whether or not this will affect whether or not he comes to Carolina or stays at Kansas. So we'll see.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Have they mentioned any other names, possibilities?
Other possibilities would be Philadelphia 76ers coach Larry Brown, because he's also a Carolina alumnus. So he's second on the list.
Okay.
All right.
We'll
Thanks,
stay posted.
Brittany.
Okay, thanks a lot. Carolina is on top of the rankings again, and it's not because of our basketball success.
Find out what's putting the university ahead when Carolina Week returns.
Hey, I'm a bartender, not a parent. Someone underage wants to drink? What do I care? I'm just trying to make the register ring, okay? If they're not drinking here, they're gonna go somewhere else. Who's it hurting anyhow? Can't they have some fun too?
Ignore underage drinking and you open up a way for them to drink. An average of 42 people under the age of 21 die every week in alcohol-related crashes. Say nothing, do nothing, stop nothing. If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Students thinking about graduate school might not want to go far. U.S. News & World Report has ranked several Carolina grad programs highly again this year. Here's how different programs fared. The School of Public Health tied for second with Harvard University. Nursing came in 5th, and the School of Medicine ranked 15th. The Kenan-Flagler Business School was 21st overall, and the School of Law 28th, and the School of Education 31st. The 2004 report hit newsstands April 7th. Well, graduate schools aren't the only programs gaining national attention. The Eringhouse Residence Hall community won the National Community of the Month Award from the National Association of College and University Residence Halls. The award comes after a clothing and money drive for a resident whose home was destroyed in a fire.
Well, if you're not going to grad school, you're probably going to need a job. Some students started their searches Wednesday at the Spring Career Fair. Students and employers slapped on name tags and swapped information Wednesday in Carmichael Auditorium. About 60 employers set up displays. A variety of opportunities were on the table, from retail store management to joining the Army or Peace Corps. The job fair was sponsored by University Career Services, and it's the last one of the year.
The last day of classes is just around the corner. Seniors have 38 days until graduation and only 3 days left of Senior Week. Seniors can attend the Last Blast Barbecue at Carmichael Gym Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. On Friday, May graduates are invited to climb the bell tower from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And on Saturday, seniors can don their finest attire at the Senior Ball. The ball kicks off at 9 p.m. at the Moorhead Planetarium with an after party at Spanky's starting at midnight. Tickets are $15 and can be purchased online. For a link to the senior website, visit carolinaweek.org. And speaking of seniors, we would like to congratulate two of our own, Alex Lawson and Aaron Mesmer. Both were nominated for student awards for publication and media. Way to go.
Thank you very much. Very, very honored. Well, that's all the time that we have for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Good night.